Mark, how and when do you start to study Wing Chun?
Wow, talking about my Wing Chun history, actually I started in 1979, which is about 32 years from now. By that time, I was 17, and now I'm 49 now, and next month I will be 50. So I experienced and practiced Wing Chun for more than about 30 years. And how I started it, because by that time, in the 70s, Hong Kong had sort of Kung Fu fever because of Bruce Lee, and also a lot of Chinese martial arts films or movies broadcast, and I was influenced by those Chinese martial arts. And one Wing Chun movies, which was shown in 1977, I remember it very clearly, which is the Warrior 2, which is the first Wing Chun movie. It was not the first one, but it was the first Wing Chun movies which showed the Wing Chun techniques. And the techniques shown in the movies were so fascinating and so impressive that then I love Wing Chun. So actually I have the fans for these movies. And so then I started a search for Wing Chun school. But by that time, the martial arts schools or Wing Chun school or Kung Fu schools in Hong Kong always associated with those bad society or mafia. So my parents was very strict and asked me, well, don't go to those schools to learn because it is bad, it will influence us. So not allow me to do that. So it's difficult to find a good school. So, but luckily and also fortunately, one of my classmates, his brother, is also the classmates of my SiFu's son. So, and my classmate's brother was actually a teacher. So I'm thinking that they make friends with SiFu's son, and also he's a teacher. That school should be okay. Then he brought me to this school during the summertime in 1979. After the examination, I went there and I found out, that school is really different from others. It is because my SiFu, Chow Chi-Chun, is not a full-time teacher. He also got a daytime job in a Kowloon motor bus company, and we teach on a part-time basis. And he did not put up any advertisement. The students there were all by referral, all by introduced by one another. So it makes the circle is not so complicated. It will not be, if it is advertisement, anyone can come to learn it. Then it may have some people there, they are not a very good background. So, and I found this school is not big, it's small school, and my SiFu was teaching very handy. He came and to do Qi with us and teach on almost on a one-to-one basis. So I love this school. Then I started and never changed, and then till now. And I started teaching about 12 years ago. Actually, I was with my SiFu for almost 20 years. I still dare not to teach, but my SiFu always encouraged me that, no, you are good enough already, so you should go and teach, not to stay here. So then with the encouragement and blessing from my SiFu, then I started teaching openly. I think it is in 1997, about that time, about 13, 14 years ago. And then I started with my school, International Wing Chun Organization. And because of I can speak in English, I can communicate in English, so my school goes quite international, to be frank. Yeah, and now we have about 100 schools in Europe, mostly in Europe, but mostly in Russia and Ukraine, these countries. And we have about 10 countries have our representative schools in Europe. Yeah.
And what about your lineage? Which is the difference to the other Wing Chun side, Wing Chun way?
Our lineage actually also from Yip Man. So we can say it's from Yip Man lineage. But Yip Man teach people cannot say teach people. You can say teach people is students differently according to their talents. According to talents, not everybody the same. So, for example, I met one of my SiBa. SiBa is my SiFu Sihing, all right, Kung Fu brother. He's big. His tanzao is flat. All right, and I think our tanzao should be a bit in a V shape like that. And he said definitely what the man taught him. So I think this is not a matter of wrong or correct. No such a thing. It's that because of his size is tall, when they do chisao, then he needs to put the tanzao a bit lower. So the tanzao will be flat. But for us, if it's short, then we need there to have a slope, with an angle like that. So, and also plus different people have different interpretation. So it makes the different lineage have a different emphasis. There's different emphasis on different part. Nothing about wrong or correct. Nothing about authentic or whatnot. Most of the things is just different people have different interpretation, and then they have different way of interpret technique or concepts. So for our lineage, Chao Chi-Chun's lineage, because he's a short side, he's not a big guy, and then we also really believe that Wing Chun was created by a woman. So a woman should have no way to compete with a man in a power or in muscular way. There's no way to compete with them. So we have chance to increase the chance to win over a man. Then we need to have a more soft approach, using more footwork, more agile, and then to make the attack more effective. So our lineage, because of that, we emphasize more on the footwork and more on using the soft approach, both because of my SiFu is short and also I'm short. So we emphasize more on the skills. So more emphasis, I would say, is our lower part about it. Footwork, kicking, using the footwork to neutralize the attack, using the body structure to absorb force. Those are the things that is more emphasis in our lineage. So we wouldn't say we are different, we will say more emphasis. And for example, some lineage, their body size already big, they can make use more of his physical advantage. Then maybe they just using a straight line more aggressive way on doing the technique or attack. And for us, because we don't have such physical advantage, if we just so aggressive like other bigger people, then we will be disadvantaged to us. Then we will rather using more agile way, more the footwork, more the soft approach. So that's the different emphasis or more focus on in our lineage.
Okay. You already give me some information about your story, but why do you choose Wing Chun among different Kung Fu styles?
Oh yes, good question. That's a good question. Many people asked me before, and particularly in the 70s, there's so many other Kung Fu styles like Honga, Choi Fat, and so many styles. And actually, by that time, Honga is much more popular, and those Kung Fu movies always on Honga. Actually, Honga is very, very impressive. But why I chose Wing Chun again is because of, firstly, because of my physical size. I think because Honga when they sit on the quadrilateral stance, and they're already many stance already like that. Therefore, my size is like this. If I sit on just such stance, I'm much lower. And the Wing Chun sitting on the high stance, then it becomes more natural to me. So then I chose Wing Chun. This is the first reason. Second reason is also because of my SiFu. Because my SiFu gives me a very good role model. Good role model that such a physical small size people can get a very good skill. Okay, then that's also because of him, and also because of his passion and his sincerity of teaching teaching me the Wing Chun, or then I don't think, or I don't want to change to any other style. And also Wing Chun's characteristic of economy of motion, directness, and also its effectiveness of it's a really good strict fighting system that I think that I have enough of this Kung Fu style.
What's your opinion about Kung Fu nowadays during the last decade?
The last decades, about the last decades, Kung Fu started going down. People more on the. It's strange. I mean, in the 80s, in the 70s is the peak, and then 80s more Qigong, and then 90s. In the 90s, which means the last decade, both Qigong or Kung Fu going down. But now it seems to me that because of the recent Ip Man movies, and it makes the Kung Fu up again. So because if you want to be good in Kung Fu, you need to invest or put a lot of time and effort. And because of the recent decades, it's becoming more distraction, like computer, like other entertainment, a lot of other things. So that distracted people to not have such interest or such patience to study Kung Fu.
Can you give some suggestion to a beginner that want to start to study Wing Chun?
Yeah, for beginner, from my point of view, have to know why or the purpose of learning Wing Chun or learning Kung Fu. They have to understand why. Don't just emotion coming out from the emotion. Oh, I saw some people were doing very fascinating, doing the movement very good, and then I learned it. After a few months, they find it so difficult to get the achievement, or so difficult to do it, and all so hard. You have to pay the sweats. Actually, you really have to give out sweats. It's not an easy thing. Then just drop out. So my advice is understand why they want it, make an objective, and then with the good persistency and patience to learn, then he will be good. Or if some beginner, if they just let's look and see, and then they decide what to do, then yes, that will be okay, but they will never succeed. But you want to be successful in becoming a good Kung Fu practitioner, not a mention master, Kung Fu practitioner, then at least they have to make clear their objective, and then with their enough persistency and patience to practice, to learn. That is my advice to the beginner.